All right, Burt, you know what time it is. Make sure you tell all of our guests here what time it is as well.
It is the BurtnBurger time for the
Nice.
podcast.
Nice. There we go. Shit the bed a little bit there. But,
Yeah.
anyways, guys, welcome to the BurtnBurger podcast. Episode 39 is here, and we are back better than ever because we have Mr. 5 Points, aka Adam. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Hell yeah! No, we had to have you on. We had your podcast partner on last week, Mr. Urinating Tree. He had some really cool things to say about you, and Bert and I are like, hey, we gotta get that guy on the podcast here. So we're so
Well,
happy
good thing
to
I
have you
paid
here,
him
man.
to say all those good things about me. Checks are
Yeah,
finally paying off.
yeah.
Yeah.
He said something about that, but we just threw it out the window because friendship costs $1 or $2 sometimes in
Sometimes
America,
it
so
does,
that's just
yeah.
how it goes.
Right.
Before we get too much into it, man, do you want to tell everybody what you do though, and who 5 Points Gaming is, or 5 Points Gaming? That's your Discord.
Yeah. Well, I
You're just
used to
5
be
Points
Five
Vids.
Points Gaming. And then one day I was like, I wonder if I should make videos that people actually want to watch. And then I kind of switched over to that. And that was like 3.5 years ago. And I've been making sports videos ever since, and it's been a wild ride. But yeah, my YouTube channel is 5 Points Vids. That's where I primarily create content. I'm also on Twitter, but I don't really make any money from Twitter. It's just more of
Sure.
like make fun of other sports teams. That's what Twitter's about. But yeah, I make list type videos. I try to find the interesting things in sports. I think my tagline is sports facts and bad jokes, and that's what I've been doing for the last 3.5 years, and it's really worked out for me. So
Hell
Okay.
yeah, hell yeah. So if you guys haven't seen a theme in our recent videos here with Alex and Urinating Tree and 5 Points here, I'm like, these are my boys here. I've been watching all of your guys' content for years now, and the fact that I have you guys coming on my show, because fuck Bert, it's not his show.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. But
Right.
having you guys come in here and just chat, I mean, me being the big sports NFL fan that I am, it's just really cool to have you guys come on here and talk a little bit about yourself and also the channel too. So 5 Points are, as you said, he gave us permission to call him Adam. You heard it here first, guys. His name's Adam. So we'll split the royalty checks with you, 5 Points. But
all right, I appreciate it. No, go ahead.
but your videos are like the kind that I fucking just love to just soak in and hear all of this crazy stuff about in the NFL, because I know you do some digging. I watched one of your videos recently about the game balls, about people like getting fined for throwing out game balls, but Cam Newton wasn't getting fined and all that stuff. That kind of cool shit right there is exactly what I like. Because let's be honest, anybody can go and get the face value of these stories here. But people like you, content creators like you that are able to dive in there and give us the nerdy-gurdy kind of thing behind it, I mean, that's the shit that gets us hard here. So I just got to ask, like, what drives you to do some research on topics like this?
Well, the formula that has really worked, and it's worked for a lot of YouTubers, is just finding questions where the answer is not readily available.
Sure.
And
Okay.
and a lot of those things, like, just trying to figure out why you can't keep a football. That's like one of my most popular videos. I remember I watched a game one time. I was like 10 or 12 years old, and I saw a fan catch a ball, and it wasn't like at a baseball game where you just put it in your pocket and you move on with your life. I remember seeing an
Sure.
usher come like get the ball from the kid. And I was like, and then, 30 some odd years later, one day I was like, I wonder why that is. And so when you start digging and you start peeling back the layers of the onion and seeing whether this is an interesting story or not, that's what really makes it worth it, is to try to find that answer and make it and weave together a narrative where that answer is revealed like later in the video, but you also have to kind of keep the viewer's attention. So it's this wonderful game that I get to play with the viewer, and it's been thrilling and fun, and to see the results where you get a video that has 2.7 million views on it for something that I
Hell
thought
yeah.
was just, I thought it was just like a joke. I never thought that many people were that curious, but it's definitely been rewarding.
Sure.
I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm going through like your list of videos, and some of the topics that you have up here are like things that I have like briefly thought about or never thought about. And then there's like a 10-minute video on it or something like that. I'm like, hell yeah, there we go. So now something that I didn't even think I cared about, there's a bunch of info right here, and now I can care about it again. So you make our work a lot easier for us, because Burt and I here, we're not the most active people. Like if we got the memory span of a chipmunk, dude. It's just like if I'm not drawn in within like 3 seconds, I'm bored. So
Right.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like people sometimes are like, "Yo, you're running out of ideas," and I just laugh because I have probably 80 to 100 ideas at a time for new videos. It's just I prioritize them based on what I think people are interested in. But I'll just be listening to the radio, or this Saturday I was watching college football and they were talking about how Iowa has produced has produced a lot of offensive linemen. And I was like, man, there's some schools that specify in certain positions, like running backs at Alabama. And so then Will Keys, who also works with Brandon Perna, he writes about half my videos. Like I've been able to afford writing help since.
Sure.
And so what I'll do is, once I find an idea that I think is interesting, I'll pass it on to him, and he just turns it into magic. And but I still write about half the videos, because sometimes there's a story that's really important to me that I need to tell it in my way, and that's particularly around the stadium content, because I'm not an engineer, but there are some things that I've learned over time that make writing the videos much easier. And Will's very good at football and other things, so we kind of work off each other, where I take the topics that he might not be as interested in, and then I'll give him sometimes the really juicy, like I wouldn't say their softballs are easy, but like some of the videos that he writes are just amazing. Like, but I always have to massage him a little bit to sound a little bit like me. But he's been great. He's talented as well. It's amazing that you guys don't. You see that maybe there's one person behind it. It's generally true. We're usually on our own, but for me, I'm lucky. I have a team of both Will, who does the writing, and then Jackson, who I call an intern. Or I'm sorry, not Jackson, Jamie. Gosh, he'd be mortified if I messed up his name. Jamie does a lot of research for me that I don't like doing. Like, I'll be like, hey, give me all the English Premier League stadiums and give me all their capacities and their Google coordinates for me, and he'll go through and do that for me. So it's been really cool that I get to manage the processes as well, because ultimately my goal is to do less and make more money.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's awesome too, because of course the content and stuff of the videos is interesting and people really like that, but you have a personality and you're able to deliver some comedy and everything like that. So everybody's there for you, probably, for the most part. So
I would I hope so. You get that occasional viewer there. You can't make everybody happy. Sometimes you can't make anybody happy. Yeah. And I always get that one comment, like, oh, the jokes, we could do without the jokes. I'm like, that's what this whole thing is about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why they visit the channel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly. We get comments like that too. Like, yeah, we could really deal without the other half of the podcast.
Humor's so subjective. Okay. You're never going to not everyone's going to find you funny. And so I'm just thrilled. It's so hard to be funny on YouTube, because it's not like stand up, like where you have an audience and they are going to react to something that's funny or not. So it takes a long time to develop like jokes that hit, because you really never know whether someone actually does find it funny. It's only like the viewer satisfaction, all these metrics that they give you, but you don't really know if you're funny or not. Yeah,
for sure. Especially with like content like with yours, like with the sports and stuff like that, like sometimes it's really difficult, I'm sure, to slip in some comedy here or there when people are there just for like education purposes. Like if they're showing your videos in front of like a college doctoral class, and then you make a joke about cock and balls or something, like, all right, sorry about that one, guys.
Yeah, that's happened a couple. That's why I've tried to not cuss as much. Like I've tried to cut that down. And because I remember someone said, you know, hey, I was watching this video with my 10-year-old kid, like, and I didn't need the cussing, and I was like, all right, I get it. Like,
yeah,
I didn't want, I never really thought that my content would be consumed that broadly, but then I've really adjusted to try to make it as, I wouldn't say family friendly, but as clean as possible.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
While still keeping your personality in there and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why Burt and I go for the family element instead of family friendly. So
yeah,
we can, that's a lot more broad for us. But so what kind of journey did your YouTube channel take? Because I know you said something about gaming at first, and now you're kind of you're 100% into the sports now, and you do have a decent sized audience here. I mean, it's not quite like ours here, 5 points. So don't get too excited.
I gotta work to that level.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's been interesting. So in 2012, I was a big wig in the corporate America. Like I worked for $100 million company. I led the second largest division of that company. I had like 42 employees that worked for me.
Wow.
I traveled the country every week. I was, you know, sometimes I would just wake up in like Houston, Texas and be like, where the hell am I? I'm like, oh, I'm in Houston. And, you know, I was making an absurd amount of money, but I just kind of felt like an ATM for my family. And then one day that job was just kind of taken away from me because we sold our company. I didn't get any part of that. I didn't have shares in it. Like I helped sell it, but I kind of just got screwed in the whole deal. And they were like, hey, you make a lot of money and we're trying to cut costs. So you're gone. And that's what happened. And then one day I went from being this person that I so identified myself with to being unemployed. And the job search wasn't easy. I think I was unemployed for about 6 months. About like month one into it, I was bored out of my mind, and I had an Xbox, and I was just like, you know what? The only game that I really liked was Madden, so I'm just gonna start playing Madden.
Poor bastard.
Again. Right. I've been playing Call of Duty, but not really. I never had any free time really. But then all of a sudden now I've got all this free time and I've been playing Call of Duty, and I was like, all right, let me just play Madden because I love sports and I want to get involved. I want to do something with sports. Well, then one day I was like, how do you stop a screen pass? Like, how do you do that? Like, one guy was just eating me alive, and I was like, well, man coverage isn't working. So I go on, of course I Google. I'm like, oh, we got Google here in 2012 or 2013. And then I see this video of this guy like playing it and like breaking down like how you can stop plays. And I was like, what? You can capture your video game footage and then put it on YouTube? And so I wasn't really interested in the YouTube part at all. I was like, wait, you can capture your footage? So I went out and bought a capture card to not start a YouTube channel, but to break down film. Like I wanted to study my own game
and to break down Madden.
Right. Because I'm so competitive. Like I just cannot stand being second or third place. Like I have to be the best at something. Like I just don't accept mediocrity. And so
could you accept like throwing like 8 interceptions in one game against your cousin?
Absolutely not. So that's why okay, even before that, like one time when I was 22 or 23, I would go over to my friend's house and they had a PS2 and I couldn't afford one at the time, and we would play Madden and they would beat me because that was the only time I could play, was that once a week that I went over to that house. Well, I was getting so pissed off that my first paycheck that I got, I spent like $400, bought a PS2, locked myself in my room and practiced, like learned the playbook, came back, lost the first game on purpose, and then was like, hey, we should play again for money. You want to put like $100 on it?
Oh my God.
And they were like, And poor Corey was like, yeah, you sucker. He's like, didn't you learn from the last game? I beat him like 56-0 or something. I was like, well, at least I got like
Oh, God.
1/4 of the purchase cost back.
Damn, that's smart. All right,
Yeah.
Burt, so when you want to wager money on Madden, I'm not fucking taking it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm
I haven't
taking
played
notes.
in so long, but I'm pretty good at NHL now. But anyways,
Sure.
so
Okay.
that's why I bought the capture card, was so that I could break down film. And then one day I was like, you know what? I think I'm funny. I saw there was this guy called Mr. Golden Sports, who's still a creator to this day. He was like
Okay.
huge on YouTube. Well, what I thought was huge. He had like 50,000 subs at the time.
Okay.
I was like, this guy's amazing. I was like, I want to be like him. And so I started like recording games and doing commentary. And for about 2.5 years, like I just didn't get anywhere because I didn't realize that guy is good at what he does because he's naturally gifted. He's way more talented than me, and all I'm doing is imitating him, not being original. I'm just doing the same thing a lot of other people are doing. And then I kind of lost interest in Madden itself, and I started playing NHL hockey, and
Okay.
still very slow with the content. And I was trying to think of new things to do, and it just wasn't working. And then one day I was like, I wonder if I just tried to make a video that I think that I want to make. And there was this kid at the time by the name of Adam 2.0, and he said something that really resonated with me. He said, imagine if the whole world was watching your video right now. And I never really thought about it. I was like, it sounds absurd, but the whole world is watching your video. Like if someone took one of your videos or one of your podcasts and was like, all right, we're going to broadcast this out to the entire world right now.
Oh boy.
Would you be proud of that?
Boy.
And I was like, and I looked at my videos. I was like, no. I was like, and then I was like, no wonder people don't watch these videos. No wonder people aren't subscribing, because these are bad videos. And it took 3.5 years to really look at myself and be like, these are not interesting. I wonder what would happen if I created an interesting video. So I was like, all right, I've got some audience in the NHL. I love the NHL. Let me do a video on NHL captains. Like, I've always just been fascinated by captains and their responsibilities. And I was like, what are some people that captained an NHL team and are just never going to do it again? And that video got like 40,000 views, right? I was like,
Okay.
when you're used to 400 views and then one video gets 40,000 views, you're just like, oh, I think I might be onto
Found
something.
Yeah.
And that, it just started from there. And then I did this video called critiquing every NHL logo. And that one blew up. That one got like 300,000 some odd views. And then I saw what the algorithm can do if you just actually really take the thing seriously. And from then on, I just kind of never looked back. I started expanding into all areas, because I'm like urinating tree. Like, I just love all sports. I love all competition. I love seeing teams choke and just lose because they can't control their they can't. It's not about choking or just being bad. It's about them mentally not doing the things that would result in a win. And that to me is just fascinating, how they panic.
You would love to watch Burt and I play Madden. Let me
Yeah. The panic factor is just, it's hilarious because
it's
happened to all of us. I think I've blown several Madden games by just not, by thinking I had it in the bag. But to see it on that stage, it's amazing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a crazy ride. But yeah, I started out as a gaming channel, then I went from Madden to NHL, and then just basically shit posting, and it's worked out ever since.
Sure.
Okay.
Wow, that's quite the journey, Burt. I hope your hand doesn't fall off for all those notes that you were taking.
Yeah,
so
I know.
We could take those tidbits and apply it to our channel. Boy, that scares me. The whole take one of your videos. Like, do you think the one that says that's titled "You're watching porn next week, fucker"? Like, if Obama had to watch that or something, like, I don't know.
That would be awesome.
Maybe we should just go to cooking or something. I don't know.
Well, the other part of it
That
is
could be
like
good.
you really have to love creating. You have to. My thing is like I like making people laugh, and I like sharing information that I think is interesting. And so I would probably still, I obviously say this. I'd probably still make videos if I didn't have such a huge audience, because I just loved it so much. I like being a smartass, and I like showing him like I'm just that you boil it down to that. I'm just a smartass
Sure.
who likes to show off how smart he is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So, speaking of smartass, you have your own podcast called
Yes.
The Dumpster Fire, and you have an excellent partner, handsome gentleman that stopped by the show last week. And I just was wondering if you guys could, I don't know, talk a little bit about your podcast or how you kind of got the idea to have a podcast with Urinating Tree and just kind of what that journey looked like a little bit.
So there's this guy that I started a Madden when I started a Madden channel. Well, let's go back a little bit. When you start like this creation journey, like you kind of, it's like being in a prison and finding the first people that are like you and just like, all right, this is going to be my gang here, right?
Sure.
They're the only people that know what I'm going through. So my friend Radson, he started making Madden videos at the same time as me, and I would see him streaming like, once a week or something like that, and I was like, it must be relatively easy to stream. And I asked him, I was like, so how do you do it? Like, what should I do? And he was like, you got to download OBS. And I was like, I didn't know anything about streaming at all and the technical aspects. Like, I wasn't looking to stream, but I saw how much fun he was having, and I was like, I want to do that once a week. And so I did it all. Like, he helped me through it. He showed me how to use Discord, and then it came time for the first show. I was like, I need to get a guest on the show. And Tree and I had started to talk. I don't know Tree from anywhere but YouTube. And I remember seeing his video on the Jets and dying and just laughing uncontrollably when he did the butt fumble montage over and over again. I've never laughed harder. I just sent him a message on YouTube. I was like, dude, you are made for this. Like, you are gonna be huge at some point. And he wrote back and he was like, thanks, man. And then I followed him on Twitter, and then he followed me back. I guess he recognized that I was another YouTuber, and I just sent him a message. I was like, look, I'm starting a live stream. Could you be my first guest? And I'd seen that he had done an interview somewhere else, so I knew that he wasn't like an asshole. I knew that he was willing to do those kind of things. So we start out, and it's just called The Dumpster Fire. And he actually gave it the name. I was like, I need a name. He's like, why don't you just call it The Dumpster Fire? And I was like, all right.
Oh, God.
And he came on, and we hit it off like right away. And I was like, why don't you come back why don't you just be the co-host of it? And he was like, all right, that's fine. And from then on, that was 2.5 years ago. And then one night we were streaming it, and I had a browser on in the background, and I had Hulu up, and I accidentally streamed a basketball game, and our stream got shut down. And if you restream live TV, you get a copyright violation, and we were not allowed to stream on my channel for 90 days. So I was like, Tree, I was like, look, I feel bad that I'm getting all the super chat revenue and you're not. I was like, well, let's launch our own channel. We'll split everything 50-50, and we'll co-own it. It'll be called, The Dumpster Fire, obviously. And he was like, all right. And that was like 2 years ago. And even though we have pretty big audiences ourselves, we've built it up to like 11,000 subscribers now. Yeah. And it's really fun. It's interesting, to say the least.
Okay.
And it's also hard to contemplate that many people would want to watch it and also donate it to two guys that basically just talk sports. Like that's all we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't do it. We used to do. I used to put together a show agenda and have like all this crap. Now we just we hit start and we start streaming and whatever happens happens and the show just gets crazy after a while.
There you go, Burt. That should give you some relief.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I look into it a little bit too much sometimes, but
yeah, he gets the willies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that you said you like all sports, right? And you kind of like to analyze would you say you like to analyze the kind of human aspects behind it? Like maybe how they get in their own heads and all that stuff?
Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask if you had like a specific sport, like do you see them screw up, I guess, in different ways, or like is it all pretty similar?
Choking is choking, like messing up and just blowing a lead. It's even more amazing in hockey, like because it's really hard to blow a lead in hockey because if you get up like 4-5-1, you can just skate around, like you can just put the puck in the corner and just kind of wait until the game's over. And football is also just amazing too because the key play in football you can see it happening, you can see it coming. Like there's so many breaks. Hockey or basketball, it's happening so fast you don't even know that the key play has happened sometimes until after the game. But in football and baseball, it's like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the moment. Like that's why I like football probably the most. Baseball is my first love. It's my favorite sport, but football just it's amazing. I just love the game of football as well. It's
like once you look into it,
it's like asking me to pick one of my kids. They're all amazing in some ways.
Right. No, that's respectable. Okay.
Yeah, but you secretly have your favorite one too. You just don't brag about it,
like for me, like baseball is like, if someone was like, all right, win a World Series or be part of a championship, I'd be like, yes, I would want to win a World Series. But football is quickly becoming like, I don't know. Okay, like if I were to rank it, like to play a sport, yes, baseball is something I would play. Football is something I want to watch. Hockey is something that is just amazing in person. And then, basketball is also it's such a good game.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, they all have their own little aspects that make them all unique.
Yeah, basketball to me is just simply one of the most difficult to be good at the high end. Like basketball is really easy to pick up and play. Like anyone can just run around a court. That's why to me hockey is the most difficult to play, period. But basketball at the highest level is the hardest out of all the sports. Because you have to be gifted in so many areas. Like you can't. Yeah.
Physical and mental, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be pretty precise with things. Did you have sports that you were really big into at one point on a personal level, like stuff that you played?
Yeah, baseball. I played baseball all through high school.
Sure.
I'm an average athlete, but I'm like decent at everything, I guess. I could play decent golf. I could play baseball. Basketball, I'm probably the worst at. Football, I could play like defense. Like I was decent at that, but I didn't have wheels like everybody else. I wasn't as fast. Right. But I was a decent at. But baseball, I got pretty far. I played varsity baseball, and I can still hit. Like I go to the cage and hit in the 80. Like it's no problem. Even at age 44. Like
Okay.
But that baseball is like the least impressive sport to be good at because there's no such thing as pick up baseball. Like you just can't go hang around a baseball field with your glove and be like, hey, you want to run?
Need 18 people or whatever. Yeah.
Right. I was gearing up to like play in an adult men's league, but it's so hard to find time,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
What position did you play in baseball?
I started out at catcher because I wanted to be in charge. Like I wanted to be the alpha. I can't stand anyone else being the field general. So I was like, I need to be the catcher so I can yell out orders to the fielders. And then in high school, though, I was like, catcher kind of sucks. Let me play outfield. Plus, we had this guy, Shane, who was just incredible. He went to, I think, Northern Iowa or something. He played Nebraska or some shit. So I was never going to play catcher at the high school level. So I just kind of backed out of that.
Sure. And you said you moved to outfield after that?
Yeah, I played in outfield. Outfield is tough. I don't care what anybody says. Outfielders have some of the hardest jobs in baseball because judging a fly ball is not easy.
No, them fuckers go miles in the air, it seems like.
Yeah, and you get rockets hit out to you out in the outfield that are just as hard as the shots in the infield. And so you've got to be as good a player as a middle infielder, but you're an outfielder. Sometimes they do hide questionable fielders out there, but yeah, you got to be pretty good to be a major leaguer.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Burt and I here, we're still waiting for our calls from the NFL. Burt is a cheerleader, me as a water boy. So,
did you guys play sports at all growing up? Or
yeah, Burt played a lot. He fucking did like wife racing and fishing and fucking flamingo tossing.
No,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I am. I'm more of a watcher. I like to pretend I can play baseball and throw a football, but in practice, not too reliable.
Yeah.
I can still throw a football like 40 yards. That's the one thing that I was blessed with was I could throw. Like that was the one thing that I could do. I was like, all right, I can throw. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, your lowest moment in any sport is literally Burt's peak and everything. He's more of those inside gamer kind of sports guys. So he shed a tear when League of Legends made it on to ESPN. So, and as far as me, I was a big football player. I actually made it to college and played a little bit there. So that was a lot of fun. I don't want people to get too excited and start creaming in their pants. I got my fucking ass handed to me in college. So but it was an experience, so and then I played first base a lot too in baseball. So but I like to think those years are way behind me, but here we got a guy here in his mid 40s and he can hit better than somebody in his mid 20s. So maybe I'm just hallucinating,
just making it, being a high school athlete is pretty tough. Like in my high school, we had like 1,600, 1,700 students. So, and we only kept 20 on the baseball team. So I never felt like I was like, a scrub, not good at baseball. Like we cut people that were better than me.
Right.
But to make it to college to play, man, the game is so different in college. The speed of the game, and you saying you got your ass handed to you. Like, oh my gosh, the leap is beyond. Like, because every kid there was the best on their team. In high school. Now there's people that are even better.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that was my big thing too. Like I tell you what, when I got a couple offers to play in college, and I'm like, oh, I'm the shit. I'm literally the best there ever was. Like I'm the fucking king at football, and I came in and everything acting like I'm gonna be the savior for this team, and holy shit, did they treat me just like their little bitch. I literally couldn't believe how awful it was. You said it's the best players like on their teams going to this college. This is like the best people in the fucking state, the best people in the surrounding states coming into this fucking team and playing. Yeah, no, it was bad. Boy, they just wiped the floor with my tears, dude, and my shit probably.
What position did you play?
I was a tight end.
Oh gosh, that's so tough in college. Yeah. I mean, because you're not just a route runner. You got to block, and so you're dealing with some guy that is like, I'm sure you just looked at the size of these guys and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, literally. I mean, I didn't come in as the starting tight end. There was a guy that was a senior when I was a freshman, and he was the starting tight end. And I just remember, like, this guy was huge. I mean, he made me his bitch on the boards and stuff like that when we had to do one-on-one drills. I mean, it was awful. I mean, it was terrible. And then I saw him blocking somebody, and he was struggling with somebody. I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm pretty sure I put my hand in the dirt, my 3-point, and I looked up and fucking saw J.J. Watt, dude. I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I try not to talk about my college football days because I would rather people just not know that at this point.
I feel the opposite. I feel like it's an accomplishment just to say that you even made a college roster because it's so hard. I think one time I tried to analyze the math of what it takes to become an NFL player. And it's like a 0.00005 chance because at every level that you go up, you're taking only one out of the top 20. It's only a 1 in 20 chance. So that number shrinks exponentially until you're down to like just astronomical odds because there are only 450 NFL players in the world.
Yeah,
and only even 10,000 college players. That's still a lot of. Or still a low number, even for compared to the population. So I don't think you should be ashamed at all. You just don't bring up the part where you got ragdolled by some defensive end.
Yeah, ragdoll, more like their fucking blow up doll, dude. Seriously, I mean,
Oh my God.
it was bad, but. Yeah, it's definitely something that I really wanted to do, and I lived a life. I just don't go on and tell much more about that.
Right, I'm
Because
sure the
usually-
parties were lit, right? And you just show up and you're like, all right, I'm on the team, and they're like, yeah, just go back there and grab a beer, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then the school that I went to wasn't a big football school. So I remember sitting there one time in class, and it was a school that has much more girls than guys. Mm-hmm. So I literally thought I'd be like going to reverse gangbangs like every other day, depending on how homework left me. But I remember sitting there in class one time when I was sitting like, yeah, I'm on the football team. And then nobody gave a shit. No one fucking cared. I was surprised the professor didn't drop his pants there. And it was a guy. Yeah. Like, I'm just really surprised that nothing happened. So, but there definitely was like an honor to it, and I'm glad I got to live it. And I dropped out of that as fast as I fucking could. I finished one season with it. Spring ball was coming up, and I'm like, guys, I'm not doing this shit anymore. That was fucking terrible.
Yeah, I had a buddy. He played baseball for a pretty big, D1 program, and he played for 4 years, and he didn't start. And he just by his fourth year he was just done with it because he was putting in so many hours to not play, and he was good,
Mm-hmm.
big left-handed, tall, super athletic, and he wasn't good enough to start there, and he felt like it was a job, he wasn't doing well. So
yep. Exactly, and that's where I was with it too. Like, I got zero playing time as a freshman, so and it definitely was starting to take up so much time in my day that I felt like I could have been spent it on. I would like to say studies and everything. Like, I gave a shit about that,
right?
But
you were like, where are the girls?
Yeah, exactly, And one time I remember I was talking to one of the running backs that was actually a starter for the team, maybe not a starter, but he definitely had some touchdowns under his belt and everything. And I was like, all right, so hear me out. I'm a little freshman here. You're a senior. You're a special player, like a specialist player, being a running back and everything. When do the girls start coming? Here I am, like a 12th string tight end here, and I got to fucking lick a taint here and there off of a man to get any kind of action. So when does it switch over to females? And he's like, no, it really never does.
Dang.
And you're like, why am I here?
I don't want to play anymore. The coach asked me, he's like, why are you quitting? I'm like, not enough pussy, coach. Sorry. Seriously. So.
Yeah, the thing with that is like if you're good looking, you'll get lots of girls. It doesn't matter whether you're on the football team or whether you're a rocket scientist or just some moron that just happens to be good looking.
I'm definitely a moron, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's funny how you think that some type of status or something will help you get girls when all you have to do is like talk to them and if they like you, just read the signals and not fuck it up is basically how college worked for me.
Exactly.
Did
you hear that, Burt?
Right. I was terrible at reading the signals. I remember one time it was like 2 a.m. This girl was like, "Why don't you come back to my apartment?" I was like, "I have to study like tomorrow. I got an exam."
What are you, crazy?
Do that?
What the fuck would I do that for? That's stupid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, well, Burt thought that as soon as they liked him, he just whips his cock out.
Yeah. No, I had a friend that would sit down on a chair and just pat his own lap and be like, "Come here, baby, sit right here. This is where you want to sit." And I was like, "Does that ever work?" And he's like, "No."
Persistence is key.
Yeah, Bert's gonna fucking cross that one out of his notebook.
But there was always that guy that played the percentages, right? He would just go up to every girl and just be like, "Hey,
shit.
Trying to hook up?" And he'd be like, "All right."
That's awesome.
He'd go home with somebody.
Or something. Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I had standards.
That's a dangerous game.
I had standards, so I never really did that.
Okay,
I had to get him to talk to me so I could be funny. That was my
Yeah. No, that's my thing. It's like when with my mouth closed, I'm literally nothing. With my mouth open, I'm literally nothing. But give me like 2 seconds, and I'm kind of silly. So that's all I got to play with here. But going back to your point here, Adam, you were talking about the odds of making it in the NFL. I just posted a picture in the Discord here about how just it breaks it down position by position. So there's over 1 million high school football players, over 310,000 people. Or 310,000 seniors. And out of that 310,000, there's 70,000 NCAA football players. And then there's the freshman one, and it just goes down to 20,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It talks about down here. If you're lucky enough to be one of the 6.5% to become an NCAA football player and one of the 1.5% of that group to make it to the NFL, you'll be lucky to get 3 fucking years out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
and you'll miss out on a pension too. So you have to make it 4 years. It says only 150 make it to that. And I've met several ex-NFL players, and this one guy, he played for 10, 15 years. He was kind of broke, like he was just a sales guy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say physically.
Yeah, he was also broke physically. I mean, his legs were just jacked up. I had another friend.
Get lazy.
He played center for NC State, and his leg got snapped like 4 times, and he's crippled to this day, basically from that. He had another player fall on his leg and break it completely backwards, and then rehabbed, got back, and then it happened again. Same exact injury. Man. And today he's crippled from it. Like, I mean, he can walk, but he gave that up.
Not very good.
Yeah. And he was headed for the NFL until that happened. So this list doesn't tell you how many guys had the talent and also didn't make it because of some catastrophic injury.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, injuries are such a big thing. Here, 5 Points is talking about like an ex-NFL player, and we ask him who it is, and he'd be like, it's some Peyton Manning or some shit like that.
No, this one guy, he was on our sales team, and he just, he didn't live. He played in the 70s or 80s or something. It wasn't as big back then, but I guess he has a pension and all that, but it's still a pension from back then isn't worth much,
Well, obviously not if he was working with you. I mean,
yeah.
Holy shit. When I was a kid, I loved football too. I mean, I loved it since I was 6th grade. I played it ever since then. But even then, I was like, nah, the NFL ain't for daddy. That's not my thing.
Yeah, my dad thought that I'd have a chance when I was like 9, 10 years old, and I believed it until I started like not making all-star teams and seeing the level of talent that other people had. And, you know, once I realized that, wow, I'm not even starting on my high school team. And I barely made it, you know, my junior and senior year. I was like, yeah, pros is not in it for me. Though I do occasionally have fantasies where if I had like started like working really hard at like age 10 or 12, like, because some guys do that, right? Like they just like Dustin Pedroia, Jose Altuve, but you have to be gifted with ridiculous reflexes too. Like,
yep.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's what people forget about Pete Rose. Like, yeah, he wasn't athletic, but he had good vision and excellent hand-eye coordination. Like, it might have been ugly how he did it, but Pete Rose was blessed. Don't let it get twisted that the all-time hit leader in baseball was not blessed with incredible talent.
Was that the guy that got kicked out of the Hall of Fame or something like that?
He got banned from baseball for gambling.
Shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And he'd probably be reinstated if he wasn't such an asshole about it.
Oh, man.
But he's gone about it very poorly. And I think he'll get reinstated posthumously.
Sure. Sure. Well, yeah, he's probably sitting there bitching that he's not in it, and here OJ is giggling away and everything.
Yeah. But baseball and football have different standards. Football does not account does not account for anything off the field. It's only earned on the field. So Aaron Hernandez is eligible to make the Hall of Fame.
Yep. Yeah, no, I remember talking about that in high school, the different kind of standards that they have, because I'm pretty sure I think OJ was in the Hall of Fame before everything went down.
Yeah.
And
deservedly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the dude was a fucking beast on the football field, but at the same time, he could have done that, like you were saying, like what Aaron Hernandez did, and still could be in the Hall of Fame. Like I wonder what that fucking gold jacket ceremony would be like. You're like, yeah, this is Hernandez's jacket.
Well, someone like Darren Sharper, who's a convicted rapist, his talent wise is eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And he could very well get in as a player, and you would just have the most awkward Hall of Fame ceremony because Darren Sharper is as a human being is a giant piece of shit.
Sure.
Like, giant.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, I've always thought about it. It's just like when you're talking about the Hall of Fame for that sport, I don't know. Like, is it important to look at off the field shit? Because if you're only judging them by how they were on the field, then it should no doubt be that they make it into that.
Yeah,
sport,
but I think you have to. It's the Hall of Fame. Like, it's not the Hall of Football ability. It's called the Hall of Fame. So wouldn't you think fame encompasses more than just your ability on the football field? But they established that standard from the beginning because they probably knew, man, we got a lot of guys that are pieces of shit, and we should we're not going to be able to have a Hall of Fame unless we let them in.
Sure. Yeah. No, absolutely. So I see both sides of the argument for sure. It's kind of hard to have a serial killer in there, but then again, he was serial killing fucking defenders on the field with that sick ass juke move. So they think that's more important. So
yeah. Right.
But Adam, you did say something about fantasy here, and it made me think of something. What's your favorite kind of porn? No, I'm kidding. How are
definitely the incest? What?
Sorry, we got to say that every fucking episode in order for us to keep making money. Just fantasy football, man. How are you at fantasy football?
I used to really take it seriously before sports became my job. Like I was in this league with 10 other people, and we had been doing it since year 2000. When sports became my job, I really lost interest in fantasy because I just didn't, and I don't have time to do more sports on top of all the sports that I sport.
Sure.
And I'm just like, all right, I need to cut out something so that I can stay sane. But when I was like a healthcare executive, fantasy was my only refuge. So I think I won the league title like 2 or 3 times in football, but my most proudest achievement was going 3 straight in baseball. But the third year, it was a tie because Starling Marte stole a base that they didn't consider indifference. Like, they awarded him the stolen base. And so I ended up tying this other dude because of that call, and I was very pissed off about it.
Damn.
And we played for money, and I think, the prize for the league, it was winner take all, no time. We had to split it that year, but it was like $300-$400. So I was really pissed that I had to split that.
That would hurt.
Yeah. But no, I was a decent fantasy player, but you know how it is in football. Once you see from 4 weeks in that your team is shit, like, it's not going to get fixed.
No.
Yeah.
Like, because fantasy baseball is all about picking up the right players and making waiver moves and bringing up that hot prospect. Football is all about the draft. Like, you just nail the draft. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It helps a lot.
Yeah, it definitely does. So, we asked that because Burt and I here, we're in our own fantasy league here, and Burt has gone from getting dead last in the league to getting the first overall pick. And then yours truly, like you, 5 points, not 3 times in a row, but I did win the championship 2 times in a row here. So,
there you go.
I
got the Shiva.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, and Burt actually got rid of a perfect record last week. Guy was 4-0, and Burt made him 4-1 now. So
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
That's almost as good as winning the trophy, in my opinion. I think.
It's pretty happy.
It is cool though because it does make a meaningless game sort of matter. You're like, oh, I got Patrick Mahomes in this game. It's Chiefs versus Dolphins.
Yep, right. That is true. That is very true.
But gambling also allows you to do that.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure Pete Rose agrees with you on that. But
Pete does agree with me. He's just like, yep, gambling made baseball really interesting, for sure.
It made it more fun. But at the same time, it does the complete opposite, too, where you got your favorite team. Like, I love the fucking Raiders like nobody's business, and then they'll be going against my defense. And Derek Carr, my most favorite player of all time, will throw a pick, and I'm like, hey, that's okay.
Yeah. You're like, all right, okay, if I'm going to lose, if the team is going to lose, I might as well win a little Skrilla, right?
Right. Right.
Exactly. So
okay, well, silver lining.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta find it somewhere. So there's some goods, there's some bads, there's some uglies with it. I have Clyde Edwards from the Chiefs.
Oh, he's feeling a little pressure now. Le'Veon's.
He sure is. Yeah. So he sure is.
Interesting.
I was going to sell him around too, but somebody already said in our group chat that Burger here is going to try to sell Clyde, so they picked up on my strap pretty fucking fast. But switching gears a little bit there, because you can tell I'm a little heated by fucking Le'Veon Bell going to a goddamn team that has no goddamn issues at fucking running back.
Right. That's amazing. I'm surprised he didn't go to Chicago.
Yeah, somewhere where they actually could have fucking needed them. This is making my toes curl really hard. So, last week we had Urinating Tree on, and we have this little segment on our show here, 5 Points, called BoobieTime, where we send each other pictures of our tatas. So, boy, his little bubble didn't even show up on Discord. He was not a fan of that comment.
Shit.
No. I'm just playing with you. I don't want one of our only friends to block us on Discord, but Urinating Tree was all over it, so I wasn't sure if
if you need a picture of my boobs, I'm willing to contribute.
Sure,
that's what rules are rules,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just gonna, like I said with Urinating Tree, you fuckers are fast on steady titty pics. I don't know if he told you about that or
no, he didn't.
5 Points was on it here.
Titty pics. So
yeah,
I don't know if that comes up.
Yeah,
Casual conversation.
Yeah, you probably
Right.
don't get asked that a lot when you go on other people's show, but basically what it is it's also known as movie time, where Burt and I will suggest movies to one of each other, and we have to watch those movies by our next episode. So usually when we have a guest come on, we like to have them bring us a movie to watch. Urinating Tree last week was not interested in that whatsoever. So then Burt and I had to do an emergency meeting and assign Boobie Time. And we got to the point to where we're just going to discontinue Titty Time altogether here. So I'd like to thank your partner for ruining something that was very important to us.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised at all that Tree ruined something.
Right. That was a mistake in the first place.
Yeah.
No, so is this an adult movie that I have to suggest to you?
Oh god.
No. I
Oh.
mean, unless you got some really good gay ones for Burt to watch.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, Pump Friction is a popular
Whoa.
one.
Pump
Shaving
Friction.
Shaving Ryan's Privates. You've seen that, right?
Oh, okay. Burt's
No,
writing this down for later.
It'd be tough for me to just pull a movie out of my
Right.
ass that
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
if you've ever seen. Have you ever seen the movie 3 O'Clock High?
Nope.
Go watch that movie.
Uh-oh.
Sure. Okay. Burt, you can come over this weekend and we can watch it.
Sounds good.
Is it scary?
No. It's an 80s movie about fighting and bullying. I think you'll enjoy it. If you
Oh god.
find my videos funny, it's very funny.
Okay. I was going to say 5 Points is going to make us watch fucking 6 hours of lesbian porn here together.
I mean,
Um,
everyone does that anyways.
Yeah, you're just going to add to the list. But what Burt and I realized is we were talking about Boobie Time, and I found out 5 Points that this motherfucker loves Titty Time because he doesn't have to do anything. He's like, yeah, it just takes up like 30 minutes. I don't have to fucking try. It's great. So
It's great.
yeah, I have a partner that's not pulling their weight here, so we're
Right.
discontinuing that. So actually, thank you, Urinating Tree, for bringing out this pussy of a cousin I have.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So to our fans out there, we're going to be taking a break from Boobie Time here. The only time we're going to do it is when a guest like Mr. Adam here brings us a banger of an idea. So we will we'll watch your movie and we'll talk about it next week in our episode. But as far as Boobie Time goes, we're going to take a break here. Urinating Tree really opened our eyes up.
You gotta do what's best for you. You gotta live your life.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Life is too short.
Sure, yeah, and Burt was making my fucking life even shorter by being an asshole about Boobie Time here. So we almost quit the podcast as a whole, actually. So we're gonna take a break from Boobie Time, unless we have great suggestions by our guest here, and maybe we can have the audience pull some stuff together when we have
fun.
more than 6 fucking subscribers. So, so. To all our fans out there, yeah, Boobie Time has taken a break for a very long time.
All right.
You can
Hard
thank
knows
Burt
that.
for fucking ruining that for all of you. So yeah, just had to get that out there. What was it? 3 O'Clock High? Is that what you called it?
Yes.
3 O'Clock.
It's a very
High.
obsure
Okay.
movie that it's like a cult favorite.
Okay.
You'll like it. I think you'll like it. You'll be
Ooh.
pleasantly
Ooh.
surprised.
Looks good.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we had Eye Scare on here, so there's no way he's gonna beat Eye Scare.
Okay.
The fucking movies that guy pointed out.
Oh, those
boy,
are horrible.
this looks like a fucking movie you would make me watch, Burt. This is nice.
I know. It looks good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Okay. This is. Oh boy, this is looking like something. Thank you, 5 Points. I was really hoping that this fucking segment could die out, but it doesn't look like it's going anywhere
We'll see.
anytime
We'll
soon.
see.
He's
Oh,
reviving
boy.
it. But yeah, no. As things, we got a couple of minutes left here, Burt. Did you? I saw you had a couple of things that you wanted to talk about. Hopefully, they won't put our guest to sleep like you did last week with Tree, because that was fucking abysmal. Holy shit!
Yeah. Talking about microorganisms, that was fun.
Yeah. Urinating Tree was a big fan of fucking cows that you have to count with nanometers.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if he was. I don't know what he was doing.
Fucking sleeping, probably.
He
I don't know,
did
sometimes
not.
Tree I lose him during our own show, so that's like his
Right.
own. Yeah, he's
Sure.
not even here to defend himself, but
I know.
yeah. And if we're gonna talk about microbiology, like at least make it interesting.
Yeah, Bert. Seriously.
Right.
Fucking make it interesting for the love of God.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, it was really bad.
I spent so much time
Looking
Oh,
at
man.
fucking water buffalo and shit, it was bad.
Oh,
5 points.
okay. Well, I mean,
You're not missing much.
okay. Well, there's redeeming qualities in water buffalo for sure.
There we go.
Right.
There we go. Speaking of redeeming qualities, what do you got for us this week, Bert? Hopefully you don't shit the bed this time. Ooh, he's clearing his throat here. This should be exciting.
This is gonna be a hard transition that I don't know how to make.
Okay. That's what we're known for.
Oh boy.
He gets very stage fry. Holy shit! Here I am trying
Stage
to roast
fried.
him. I'm talking like your fucking brother.
That's when you get high
Right.
on stage. You get stage fried.
Right.
He gets scared when we have cool people listening. So just ignore him.
It's tough. I know it is.
It's all good. It's good. It's all good. It happens to a lot of guys.
Oh my god. Stage fright everywhere you go.
Yeah, it happens to all guys over 60. But yeah, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? What do we got?
So you guys like Amazon?
I love Amazon. It is the greatest invention ever.
Okay. Well, I have recently had to get back to work because Amazon has been draining my bank account with their oh god, what is it? Like their subscription services, like through not Audacity. What is it?
Like
Audible?
Yeah.
Audible, and then they have all like these other side branching companies and stuff. I lose track of that stuff so bad.
I know you do. Yeah.
I know.
You're
I'm
paying
just
for
seeing
so many
like
things that you have no idea you're paying for.
it's horrible, but it's like Amazon. I don't know. It must be some part of their like. I don't know. Some
marketing
big brain
for sure, and their partnership.
The marketing.
Like, they want to own you. They're like Google
I know
and
you
your
can't
data.
get rid of this shit. Like I still don't know how to get rid of my Audible subscription. I have
Bert
no
fucking
idea.
dreams about it. They're hijacking his fucking dreams.
I know it's horrible. I have no chance.
Okay.
I think it's
So-
easy to go cancel stuff. It's your money. Like,
I know.
I mean,
It is.
It sounds like you don't really want to not. It sounds
Oh,
like you want all these
man.
books on tape. For sure.
I know, I just
5-point
need something to
gaming.
bitch about.
This guy is fucking amazing. Calling Bert out.
Yeah.
There we go.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's like, it sounds like you're a fucking bitch here, Bert.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get it.
Sorry, I don't. You know, you're not that much of a bitch. You're
No,
addicted to Amazon. I get it.
Right,
addicted to
right.
And gay porn, but as you were saying, Bert.
I don't know what I'd do without Amazon because the thing I love about Amazon is like there's stuff that I could go out and get, but I'm not thinking about it when I go out and to Walmart or whatever. So I just get it on
Yeah.
Amazon because I know that shit's gonna come and arrive. And my wife always bitches about it. She's like, you know, you could have this at Target. I was like, yeah, but I did not go to Target. I am sitting
Right.
right here.
Everybody just has a collection of cardboard boxes in their garage now.
Absolutely.
It's
Like,
ridiculous.
Ours gets to be the point of a small human being. And I'm just like, am I the only one that gets to break these down? That gets the pleasure of doing this?
Yeah, it's a part of when you click that order button.
Yep.
That's a part of it.
Yep. Well, we're keeping the corrugated paper industry alive.
There we go.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, so you were trying to cancel your Playboy from Audible, you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's just a total pain in the ass. But trying to think about where I'm going with this.
Was that it?
So the other day, I have allergies, right? And I had my window open because my room's way too hot.
Okay.
And so today I'm kind of scared. Like I have a little scratch in my throat. And I'm
Oh.
like, shit, I hope it's not Corona.
You're definitely,
no.
yeah, definitely the.
I'm horrified.
Uh-huh.
I'm horrified. But I'm thinking that's the case. And I've had like, I only get my bad seasonal allergies, whatever, like once, like for a week.
Sure.
And last year when I got it, it was like I was coughing up so much, like it was disgusting.
Okay, so you brought COVID to America. Told you
Right.
to fucking go to those backcountry shitholes.
Yeah,
that you
don't fucking
get pizza
drink
from.
bad soup. Someone that has a monkey head in soup, don't eat it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
fucking
No,
A.
there's
now
no
we're
surprise. But no, so last night it was like fucking torture. I don't know why, but I had a dream all night last night.
What'd I tell you? Told you fucking Audible's taking over your dreams.
I was, dude, I was coughing up phlegm all night.
In the dream,
And it was
or
just in my
reality?
dreams. Well, no, like I woke up and I was totally fine. Like I didn't have a stuffy nose or anything. And it was just like my mouth was fucking full. Oh, I'm so sorry, all these poor listeners. No,
what?
like
Of
my
nut?
mouth was full. That's what it kind of felt like.
Nut?
But my mouth was full. Yeah, I was coughing up full, like mouthfuls of like
Nut.
phlegm.
Of Johnny Sins level jizz. That's what you're talking
Right.
about.
Yeah, where are we going with this? Like,
Right. No, that's the connection I was gonna make, and it was all night. It was like fucking torture.
Okay.
Like I'm just running around trying to find places to evacuate the gooey substance.
Just swallow it. Don't be a bitch.
Yeah,
that's where,
swallowing
like-
it leads to a lot worse things. You know, you just
Oh my
yeah, you
God.
don't want to. You got
Spitters
I'm
are
no
quitters,
scientist, but no. So, have you guys been keeping your nose clean, sanitizing? Any scares like that coming up?
I have fall allergies, and the level of sinus pressure that I'm experiencing right now is clinically bad, and it was causing me crippling anxiety before I knew what was happening.
Holy
So I had to
shit.
go see like the doctor to make sure I wasn't having a stroke every 10 minutes
my
because
God.
I was getting dizzy like all the time and like working out, and then all of a sudden getting like extremely dizzy and like falling over, and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Wow.
So I went to go see the doctor, and he's like, you're perfectly fine. You can go exercise. You need to take Flonase, not Afrin, which is messing you up, and stop taking decongestants, which are making your heart race out of control and contributing to your anxiety. I was like, oh, that's
Okay.
why I came to you, doc. And
That'll
so,
do
So
it.
do you have a stuffy nose then with it?
I don't have no stuffy nose. The problem is I'm feeling this pressure in my sinuses, like behind my ears, that just continue to build up, and it feels like I have swimmer's ear like all day long.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
horrible.
terrible. It's really bad.
That's kind of how mine was before.
yeah,
I
and
never
I
got
don't know
lightheaded, but
when it's gonna go away, because that was a week ago that I got back on the Flonase, and it's still affecting me. But luckily, instead of when I get dizzy now, I know that I'm not having a stroke. I'm just like,
yeah,
oh,
that's gotta be scary.
that's a dub.
Working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And getting dizzy, yeah, that's frightening.
No,
Especially when
I
you're
mean, I've done
44
that for
years
different-
old and you think, you're at the age
you don't
where
know
you-
what it is.
Right. And the other thing is, like, I really psyched myself out because I had elevated blood. I have elevated blood pressure. It's not high blood pressure. It's just mildly elevated was what it was called. So
Okay.
I'm just thinking of the day when it's finally, elevated, which it's not, luckily, but that all played into me thinking that I was really
Oh, that's
sick.
horrible.
Yeah. So
Man. Okay.
Were you Burt, did you have like a thing you were gonna pull out of this, or were you just curious about our guest's fucking allergies?
Yeah, I'm trying. Like these things are like episode topics. I'm like, we need to save this shit for next week. I forgot we were having a guest on.
Oh,
You're just like, hey,
okay.
Burt, you want to talk about this thing you had planned for next week? I'm
Yep.
like, oh,
yeah, I mean, if we're
shit.
going to talk about allergies, like, I mean, sure, I can give you 2 hours of allergies, but my wife's kind of like
Right.
bothered. She's like, hey, come on, it's almost time. She's like, wrap it up.
Right.
Yeah, we can start wrapping it up, but I would have loved to have 5 Points Vids come on later, but he was just sliding in our DMs here, just begging to come on the show. So I was like, we have a busy schedule, man. I mean, right after PewDiePie, I guess we can squeeze you in, but
Right.
Oh, good old Pewds. Yeah, tell him I said hi.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Him and I went to school together, so yeah.
Oh, you're from
Sweden, yeah.
Sweden. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was a cool guy, but I stopped talking to him because he was a bit too tall for me. But
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
like them tall bastards. But other than that, man, that's pretty much all we had for you. I really wanted to get you on the show. I know that you ran the dumpster fire with urinating tree, and I've loved your content for many years, and I was very happy to get you on. While I have you here, do you have any plans for the YouTube channel? Or are you just gonna keep grinding out what you've been grinding out, or what are you feeling?
Yeah, this week was a busy week. Like,
Oh gosh.
I got a couple sponsors come in, and so that always kind of keeps me on task. Next week, I'm looking forward to actually taking a day or two off. Like, I love working so much. Like, when I was in the corporate world, like, the reason why I climbed up the ladder was because I am a workaholic and I'm willing to sacrifice my children and marriage for my job. So
Sure.
I'm dedicated to the mission, let me tell you. No.
Okay.
Now it's a little better that I live at home. Like, here I am at 10 o'clock, quote unquote, working, not actually earning money, but it's all good.
Right.
But I just love content creation so much. So I rarely take days off, but I need a couple days off because producing a movie every 2 days can get very grinding, because you guys don't see it. For every minute of video that I produce is an hour of work. So,
I'm
sure.
Burt can agree with you. He's the editor for the podcast.
And
yes.
so this week I'll upload 3 videos, but next week I'll probably only do 1. But yeah,
Sure.
I never run out of ideas. It's just there's so many things I wanted. There's so many cool, like, here, before I sign off, I'll look at some ideas that I have. That SoFi Stadium will never recoup its initial cost of $5 billion. Like, I want to
Write that down, Burt.
Yeah, you can not steal these. Why don't NBA backboards shatter anymore? Like, they used to shatter all the time, and now they don't.
Good
and
old
I just
Shaq,
yeah, I want to.
Okay.
They Shaq proofed them. Most losingest franchises in sports. This is one that's really cool that I want to do that probably nobody will watch, is why do race cars look this way now? Like,
Okay.
like an F1 car. Well, Donut Media did a video on it that was really good. It explains why the wings are shaped the way they are and how the body's shaped and things like that. So they kind of beat me to it. I should probably delete that one.
Sure.
Okay.
And yes, there's so many ideas. Like, here, let me find one that I won't make. Oh, could an MMA fight happen on an airplane? Like, that would be amazing.
Okay.
Right? That'd be fucking dope.
You actually might
I'd
want to
watch
make
that.
that one. Yeah.
But those are one of those movies where it's fun for me to make, but nobody watches. Like,
Yeah. It's a big
But-
meme.
yeah, I just think that'd be cool if there was an MMA fight on a freaking airplane. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, get highlighted by Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's there. He's like high on the airplane and high in real life.
Right.
Perfect.
Right.
And here's
Okay.
one dumb one. Can padding be put behind the ivy at Wrigley Field? Like, these
There
are
you
just
go. Okay.
Stupid questions that I think of all the time that hopefully in my
That's
lifetime
cool.
I'll be able to, as long as I don't have a stroke while working out, I should be able to make these.
So you literally you come up with those, or do people put like stuff in the comment section like, hey?
No, I don't pay
video on
attention.
this?
Look, listen, I'm going to be very kind of a dickhead right now. Like,
Go
if
ahead.
I listen to the suggestions, it's like, if you're suggesting that, then you should have a YouTube channel, and there's a reason why
Sure.
you
That's
don't have
interesting.
a huge successful YouTube channel, because that was a horrible suggestion.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people will suggest things that are within a series that I'm doing, which I was going to do anyways, and I'm like trust me, very rarely does someone come up with a good idea that I'm
Yeah.
like, that's an actually good idea. Now,
Sure.
Jamie, my intern, did come up with the Why Are Arenas Called Gardens video,
Okay.
which
Okay.
I love the concept of, but it's pretty rare that anyone ever suggests something where I'm just like, yeah, that's good. Now, you could be like
Sure.
TPS or some of these other channels that take the suggestions, which are other people's videos, and then make those videos and don't even bother to see if someone else has made them.
Okay.
Now, that
Yeah.
happens a lot. But
Sure.
Oh man.
guys like Tree and I and KTO or Flemlo, we are who we are because we have been originals, and that's just that's my take on it. Like
Sure.
if I were taking suggestions from the audience,
Mhm.
Then it'd be like the audience's channel, not your.
that and the suggestions just aren't good all the time.
You should say that. Like, you should go down to their comments and be like, bro, that's a fucking stupid idea.
No, I like
Need
being
to
nice to
workshop this
people. I don't want to come off as an asshole. I'm like a
No,
southern
it's good.
lady. I'm just like, bless your heart, sweetie. You just
Sure.
that was a good one.
Sure.
Oh, now go run
Sure.
along and take that diaper off your head.
Yeah.
Right.
Seriously. But yeah, okay, so you're gonna be around for a while then, is what you're saying.
Hopefully.
Hell,
I like it.
hell yeah.
Okay.
We love to hear that. And like you were just saying, like you, Tree, Flemlo, and my boy KTO, I love all of you guys. You guys make some great fucking work. This is coming from a fan of you guys for many, many years now. And you definitely help out the sports community. You open up so many more gates with the content that you bring out there for people. And we really do appreciate you guys bringing us up to date on some stuff that isn't so easy to find and giving us a giggle here or there as well. So
yeah.
keep doing the Lord's work, 5 Point. We love you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
So other than that, man, that is basically all that we have for you today. Do you want to shout your shit out real quick where people can find you?
Yep. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at 5Points Vids if Twitter doesn't crash again because of I'm sure Donald Trump had something to do with that. He was just like, yeah, shut it off. Shut it off.
Shut
They
that shit
censored
off.
that article. Shut it off. Show them who we're messing with. You can find me on YouTube at 5Points Vids. I have an Instagram, which I just post pictures of my models that I make, my little toys, so that I can write them off for tax purposes. And then,
cool.
Okay. Those
yeah,
kind of
that's
models.
it. So check everything out. And I
Sure.
appreciate being on the show.
Hell yeah,
Oh, yeah,
dude,
thanks
and
for
we
coming
really
on.
appreciate you coming on again. Sorry you had to wait in the waiting room a little
And
bit.
no problem, man. Those
Daddy
chicken
was
wings are
getting
worth
some-
it.
Yeah, Daddy was getting some B-dubs, and boy, they were taking their time. I'm like, I got a fucking famous YouTuber waiting in my goddamn Discord. Can you hurry the fuck up? Thank you so much. But anyways, again, 5 Point, we really appreciate you coming on. Burt, where can our people that don't know who the fuck we are, which is basically everybody, where can they find us?
We have full episodes up on YouTube and Spotify, as well as highlight clips on Twitter and TikTok. We also have some gaming highlights on TikTok as well throughout the week.
Hell yeah, and you just gotta search BurtnBurger, all one word, and you guys will find us there. So again, thank you so much, guys, for listening to this video. Make sure you check out our boy 5 Point Vids all over the place as well. He's a dope guy, and you will love his content. So thank you again, guys, so much for tuning in, and we will see you in next week's episode. Take care, guys.
See ya.